Ezekiel dramatizes the exile. Ezekiel chapter 12. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, you are living among a rebellious house. They have eyes to see, but do not see, and ears to hear, but do not hear, for they are a rebellious house. So they don't see anything, they don't hear anything. Willful ignorance. They're choosing not to see or hear. Now you, son of man, get your bags ready for exile and go into exile in their sight during the day. You will go into exile from your place to another while they watch. So show them what's about to happen to them. Maybe a visual representation will help them to understand. Perhaps they will understand, though they are a rebellious house. And this is perhaps. That's maybe. Okay? That's a maybe. During the day, bring out your bags like an exile's bags while they look on. Then in the evening, go out in their sight like those going into exile. So you're going to do this in the day, and he's also going to do this in the evening. As they watch, dig through the wall and take the bags out through it. And while they look on, lift the bags to your shoulder and take them out in the dark. So he's showing them step by step what they are about to do. And they're just standing there watching, probably thinking he's crazy. And cover your face so that you cannot see the land. For I have made you a sign to the house of Israel. Excuse me. And I made a note here that God wanted Ezekiel to play charades because he's not to say anything to them. Just act it out, and that's it. Look, the first example of charades. Well, it may not be the first, but yeah. So I did just as I was commanded. How many of us can say that we do just as we're commanded? How many of us are that obedient? And he said he did just as I was commanded. Everything. In the daytime, I brought out my bags like an exile's bags. In the evening, I dug through the wall by hand. I took them out in the dark, carrying them on my shoulder in their sight. In the morning, the word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, hasn't the house of Israel, that rebellious house, asked you, what are you doing? So he's expecting that the people are going to ask, what is he doing? To provoke the prophecy that he's about to give of, y'all are about to do this too, real soon. Say to them, this is what the Lord God says. This pronouncement concerns the prince or King Zedekiah in Jerusalem and the whole house of Israel living there or living among them. You are to say, I am a sign for you. Just as I have done, it will be done to them. They will go into exile, into captivity. The prince who is among them will lift his bags to his shoulder in the dark and go out. They, or he, will dig through the wall to bring him out through it. He will cover his face so he cannot see the land with his eyes. But I will spread my net over him, and he will be caught in my snare. I will bring him to Babylon, the land of the Chaldeans, yet he will not see it, and he will not be unalive there. So now if you remember, in Jeremiah, Zedekiah tried to flee, right? He tried to flee, but he didn't. And Nebuchadnezzar blinded him. It says, yet he will not see it because he was blind. So let's go back and look in Jeremiah. So this is Jeremiah chapter 39, starting at verse 6. At Riblah, the king of Babylon slaughtered Zedekiah's sons before his eyes, and he also slaughtered all Judah's nobles. Then he blinded Zedekiah and put him in bronze chains to take him to Babylon. So that's what he's saying. That's what's going to happen to him. He's not going to be able to see Babylon. He's not going to see it because he's going to be blinded. I will also scatter all the attendants who surround him and all his troops to every direction of the wind, and I will draw a sword to chase after them. They will know that I am the Lord when I disperse them among the nations and scatter them among the countries. But I will spare a few of them from the sword, famine, and plague, so that among the nations where they go, they can tell about all their detestable practices. So they can tell them everything that they did wrong, and how they maybe have lost their family or how they even ended up there. Then they will know that I am the Lord. So this is how word spreads to other nations. Ezekiel dramatizes Israel's anxiety. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, eat your bread with trembling and drink your water with anxious shaking. Like, y'all can imagine what that looks like. That's a lot of fear. Then say to the people of the land, this is what the Lord God says about the residents of Jerusalem and the land of Israel. They will eat their bread with anxiety and drink their water in dread, for their or its land or Jerusalem will be stranded of everything, will be stripped of everything in it because of the violence of all who live there. The inhabited cities will be destroyed and the land will become dreadful. Then you will know that I am the Lord. So it's like all these bad things happen or have to happen in order for them to realize who run things. A deceptive proverb stopped. Again, the word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, what is this proverb you people have about the land of Israel, which goes, the days keep passing by and every vision fails? So that's showing their impatience, right? Because he's telling them these things. Ezekiel's telling them these things, but every day that goes by, nothing happens. First of all, this is not on y'all's timing, and God never told y'all when this was going to happen. He just said that it is. Therefore, say to them, this is what the Lord God says. I will put a stop to this proverb, and they will not use it again in Israel. But say to them, the days have arrived, as well as the fulfillment of every vision. For there will no longer be any false vision or flattering divination within the house of Israel. But I, the Lord, will speak whatever message I will speak, and it will be done. It will no longer be delayed. Since y'all want to be impatient, since y'all want to listen to these diviners who are telling y'all, oh, don't worry about it. We've had all these prophecies before and nothing has happened. No, bet. God said, bet. I got y'all. For in your days, rebellious house, I will speak a message and bring it to pass. This is a declaration of the Lord God. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, notice that the house of Israel is saying the vision that he sees concerns many years from now. They don't think it's going to happen right now. That's like way in the future, like probably after they have passed on. He prophesies about distant times. Some of it, but most of what he's saying right now is going to happen to y'all. Therefore, say to them, this is what the Lord God says. None of my words will be delayed any longer. See, you got to be careful. You got to be careful what you say. The message I speak will be fulfilled. This is a declaration of the Lord God.